Remember that time Disney made a sequel that was better than the original?
Today, we are talking about Disney sequels that are better, dare I say it, than the originals. Specifically, we are going to be talking about Frozen 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, all of the Toy Story sequels, and The Rescuers Down Under.
Unfortunately, most Disney sequels are not better than the originals.
Are there people that think sequels are better than the originals? Because that's like never true, except for in this video, but almost never ever any other time, ever. Are there people that think that?
Absolutely not. And I'm just gonna go ahead and kick this off the way that I think it should be said, which is a quote from Walt Disney himself, and that is, you can't top pigs with pigs. So, buckle up for where I'm going.
Frozen 2, believe it or not, is the sequel to Frozen, starring Elphaba and Sarah Marshall.
That's right. Idina Menzel is back, and she is just as cold as ever. Icy fingers, that sad magic she has. She turns everything to ice crystals.
And I absolutely adored it. I think that it has some serious plot holes.
You remember how everything was good at the end of Frozen 1? We can't end it there. We can't just have nice things. We can't just have a nice story and have them live happily ever after 18 years of torture. Like, we have to shake it up again, apparently, for these poor people.
Elsa discovering that her powers are a part of an elemental force.
Elsa is the fifth element. And not fifth element as in like Fifth Element.
And she hears voices. But it's her mom. Elsa determining where she fits within this elemental world and kind of natural world, and then Anna doing what she can to repair the damage that happened generations past.
Spoiler alert.
Anna and Elsa's grandfather is a big doo-doo head, and he like backstabbed the chief. He murders the chief literally when his back is to him.
I love the way Frozen 2 looks, the animation. I love the way Frozen 2 sounds. I love the new songs.
Elsa's got these two bang-up songs. Let It Go is great, but Show Yourself.
Come to me now, open your door.
Is an awesome song. It really jams. But what jams even more is Into the Unknown. Into the Unknown, that track that I love at the end of the movie when Panic at the Disco goes, Into the unknown, into the unknown. It's a little hot.
Into the unknown, into the unknown, into the unknown. Oh.
Of course, Kristoff singing Lost in the Woods.
So you turn around and find that I've been lost in the woods, and I don't know which path we are on.
When have we ever gotten a Prince singing a straight up ballad, let alone an 80s rock ballad? Never is the answer. And two, Kristoff is hands down the best Prince. He is the only one that is not self-serving at all, and he is in complete awe of Anna. And in the end, when Anna is going to take down the dam, which she knows will destroy the town that she loves, it will destroy her city, Kristoff shows up.
He scoops her right up onto Sven and he says,
I'm here. What do you need?
and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a true man right there. Kristoff is man goals.
He doesn't say, let me do it. He doesn't say, this is a bad idea. He says, how can I help you? Which, that's what anyone should say to anyone that they love and support. And the fact that it's a man saying it to a woman, good job, Frozen 2. I didn't think we were gonna cry yet. I didn't think I was gonna start crying until I got to the Toy Story section, but here we are.
Ooh, that's a tough question. Is it better than Frozen? No, it's not. No, Frozen 1, I think Frozen 1 hits on all cylinders.
I am not one of the people saying Frozen 2 is the better movie. I am one of the people asked to sit here and talk about the opinion that some people have that Frozen 2 is better. And I disagree with that opinion.
I can't answer this. I'm sorry. I love you, Breed Love. I love you, Molly. I love everyone, but I cannot answer this. I refuse to answer this. They are both great because they are both stops on the story to finding one's true self. I refuse to choose. They exist together.
Okay, but if you had to choose...
Is the whole putting us in mortal danger gonna be a regular thing?
Woody, look! I can see daylight! We're gonna be okay! I don't think that's daylight.
Toy Story, let's do it.
If there are ever sequels that can rival the original, we're there. We found the movies that might possibly live up to the original, and I assume some people in this group are gonna say they surpassed the original.
They still fit my description of I don't necessarily think that we need to have those sequels, right? But I do think that for that cast of characters, they have come the closest to adding meaningful development in every single story.
Am I a fan? Am I a fan of Toy Story? You can bet your bottom dollar I'm a fan.
Toy Story 1 obviously was cutting edge for Pixar, like animation. Like it was like the first Pixar animated film. Happened before I was born.
Huh? Is that enough for you? Do you need more?
The sequels that followed have really continued to do a great job of continuing the story, introducing new characters, and making us fall even more in love with all of the original characters.
I love Toy Story!
There have been 4 Toy Stories. I wouldn't mind a Toy Story 5. I would like for them to go on till I'm like 80 and they're on like Toy Story 27.
So Toy Story 2 is my favorite of the sequels. It's still early enough in the Toy Story franchise to feel very nostalgic and original for me, but at the same time, the story and the gags and just kind of the grandeur of it is a lot bigger than Toy Story 1.
2 is for sure my least favorite Toy Story movie, no questions asked.
My favorite of the sequels is Toy Story 2. I love Toy Story 2. And it's my favorite because I just love the storyline. I love the music.
I think Toy Story 3 gutted me.
That moment at the end when they're all holding hands, they're going down, spoiler alert, they're all going down into the incinerator and they're all just holding hands and they're knowing they're gonna die, they're gonna be melted away. Sitting there going, and I'm like trying to breathe. And it was so sad. And Lindsay's like, babe, you gotta pull it together. This is a kid's movie and you're scaring the children.
And the song When Somebody Loved Me or When She Loved Me, it is just about the most heart-wrenching song I can think of. Randy Newman had a stroke of genius in writing that, and the Sarah McLachlan performance on it is genius. Am I gonna cry right now thinking about it? Maybe.
And they all start holding each other's hands, and Bullseye is like trying to get up and he can't, and his little hooves can't get up, and Woody like calms him, and then Buzz and Woody hold hands, and then they're all holding hands, and they're like ready to just...
Brings back the time and the place.
Pixar absolutely would ruin your life that way. I think anybody that thinks Pixar is above burning the Toy Story toys has never really watched a Pixar movie.
I cannot believe that animation can do this.
And then he drives away after they have their amazing afternoon playing. So long, partner.
I really don't know how they do this.
And Gabby hugs her back, and it's like, this doll who you hated 20 minutes ago, you are now crying because she found her person. And it's like, that's why she was mean and scary, is because she just wanted to be loved.
No.
To infinity and beyond.
I don't know how they do this.
I need a cocktail or something. What is happening?
This isn't a beer, it's a soda without ice.
I think Toy Story 2 might be better than the first one. I'm changing my tune.
non-original character is Bullseye. I like Jessie a lot too.
Let me tell you that it's not Jessie. I hate Jessie. I'm gonna say it. I don't know if I've said that before on these programs. I said I don't care for Jessie. I actually hate Jessie.
Listen, Molly doesn't like Jessie because she has no heart, but actually the real reason she doesn't like Jessie is because Jessie and Buzz are an item and Molly's jealous, which is so weird.
I think she is a super duper annoying character. I think her character is so clingy and so whiny and like, ugh.
She's just jealous of Jessie, and that's okay. Sometimes you just gotta be jealous of a toy cowgirl.
And she is in no universe good enough for Buzz Lightyear. I'll tell you that much as well.
It's not Forky. Forky's annoying. I'm trash. You are.
But it's okay to be trash because trash has its place too.
What's really neat about the Toy Story movies is that because there are 4 of them and they're all good and fun to watch, you can really, really watch how the animation changes from Toy Story 1 all the way out to Toy Story 4. And like the leaps and bounds in the tech is crazy. You know how I feel about leaps and bounds in technology? And the answer is good.
Look at Toy Story 1 and how Bo Peep is animated, and then look at Toy Story 4, how Bo Peep is animated. I mean, the animation in Toy Story 4 is stunning. It is jaw-droppingly incredible.
It's gotten better and better. I mean, if you guys look at how Andy looked in the first one and look how Andy looked as a teenager, yeah, he looks amazing now. Andy, I don't know what you've been drinking, but you glowed up, okay? College looks good on you.
I can't wait to see what happens with Toy Story 5. Maybe it really will be, a hologram technology. It'll be so beautiful. Who knows? They could do anything over there at Pixar.
He's stealing Woody. What? Somebody do something!
Start churning butter and put on your church shoes, little sister, because we're about to blast off!
Ralph, what is it you're trying to say?
We're going to the internet.
Ralph Breaks the Internet is the sequel to WreckIt Ralph. That's a Kanye West meme. Have y'all ever seen WreckIt Ralph?
I love Ralph Breaks the Internet. Vanellope is like my daughter's favorite, so I've seen the Ralph movies a lot, and they are so much fun.
It is the story of Vanellope and Ralph as they explore a new chapter in their life and end up into the wild world of the internet.
To be honest with you, it was just okay. I'm gonna be honest with you.
The best parts of this movie are when Vanellope goes to the Oh My Disney building.
When she gets there, you see Star Wars, Marvel, there's ER over here, there's Star Troopers over here, Grumpy, there's so much to look at.
The princess scene, that's the best scene. It's so creative. Like, seeing all those princesses on screen together is pretty magical no matter what age you are. If you're like a princess fan, which I am, because who doesn't love a strong lady?
Where they could, they brought back the original voices of those princesses. So Jodie Benson is there for Ariel.
Do you need help? Is a man hurting you? What about a beast? Did your parents die? And they make a trope. They make fun of Disney princess tropes. And she's like, what is wrong with you guys? Are you okay? And they're all like, are we okay?
And Merida's not saying anything, and they're all giving her advice. And then they're like, right, Merida?
Ach, lang me your lumdrike me a moose nearly you'd gone away a teardrop in his eye. Hey, she back me, lassie.
It is so funny. And they're like, she's from the other studio. It's so great.
It's really cool to see Disney playing in a comedic way with something that is usually held with the utmost reverence.
And in like 3D animation, and that CGI, I was like, oh, y'all looking, we haven't seen Cinderella in this type of animation before. We haven't seen Jasmine in this type of animation before, and it was so nice to see.
If I were a video game character, I think I'd be a sim. Because I definitely walk into rooms almost constantly and forget what I'm doing and then go do something else.
I think it would be Yoshi. I have a long tongue. I can touch my nose. I can almost pick it. See?
I'd be like an interesting character that you could pick on Mario Kart. That would be so fabulous, and I would be driving on rainbow roads. Yes, let's go.
No, on no level is Ralph Breaks the Internet better than WreckIt Ralph. It's not as funny as WreckIt Ralph, mostly because you don't have as much of Jane Lynch and Fix-It Felix. They are very, very funny in the first one, and you don't get a lot of them in this one. You don't get any King Candy. He's also very funny.
Breedlove is not King Candy, although he kind of dresses like King Candy in like the best way possible.
I miss King Candy. King Candy is my favorite character because he sounds like the Mad Hatter and almost has a lisp. I miss King Candy. If he was in Ralph Breaks the Internet, I would vote that.
WreckIt Ralph 1 is a beautiful and perfect story about being an outcast, being considered a bad guy, being considered different, and overcoming that to realize it's not a bad thing to be different, to be who you are, and to be who you're destined to be. It is a good thing, and that's what makes everybody wonderful. So at the end of Wreck-It Ralph, when Ralph is saying the bad guy motto, I am bad, but that's good, that's who I am, as he is like literally plummeting to his supposed death in order to save his friend. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna cry right now again, but I can't keep crying throughout this episode because it's getting embarrassing.
Look up there! It's a big, strong man in need of rescuing.
Australia. Mysterious. Untamed. And for a young boy named Cody and his magnificent golden eagle, it was a world of adventure and discovery.
Rescuers Down Under is the sequel to The Rescuers, and it's just The Rescuers, but Australian. Crikey.
I'm so sorry to anyone from Australia.
We follow the mice Bernard and Bianca as they once again rescue a child from the clutches of an evil villain. However, in this instance, it's in Australia, and the evil villain is a poacher
named McLeach.
The Rescuers, the original film, came out in 1977. The sequel, Rescuers Down Under, didn't come out until 1990.
Rescuers Down Under is 100%, without a doubt, so much better than Rescuers 1. I can't tell you.
Which is super weird when you think about it, because Little Mermaid came out in 1989. We had already experienced the beginning of the Disney animated renaissance.
I liked these movies as a kid. I think they're fun as a kid. I like animals. That's not news. The Animal Kingdom's my favorite park. I like safaris a lot. So I liked that all the creatures were in this one. I didn't like that they were being poached by a bad guy.
My favorite character is Miss Bianca because I just think she's so cute and little.
She is like the sassiest mouse. She's voiced by, is it Zsa Zsa Gabor or Cha Cha Gabor? She's voiced by a Gabor, Eva Gabor, a Gabor. Someone Gabor voiced her.
Eva Gabor!
What more would you want? Eva Gabor of Green Acres fame, Zsa Zsa's sister, is the star of the film.
And she's like got her little fur.
Faux fur, and I hope it's faux fur. As an animal, I would expect it to be faux fur.
And her little hat, and she's like, oh, Mr. Bernard, you're so silly. Oh, Monsieur Jake is so nice to us. And Bernard's like mad because like Jake's like the hot mouse coming in and moving in on Miss Bianca. But Miss Bianca's just like loving everybody and loving life. So she's pretty fabulous.
My favorite character in this one is probably Joanna, the iguana. I love her. There's some kind of, kind of Pluto quality to Joanna. Even though she's bad, I think I might like Joanna.
It's very cool because this is the first movie to use computer animation the entire film. Other movies like Great Mouse Detective had like clips of it, but this is the first one to use it entirely.
It felt really it felt like they were breaking new ground throughout the film Rescuers Down Under, right? It felt like at scenes you could tell that the team was getting more adept with their new tools.
They used this computer animation that was way ahead of its time, and they're flying through the outback, and it's amazing.
You know what they didn't use that computer to animate though? A single shark. You know where sharks live? Australia. There are great white sharks all over the place in Australia. How did we not get a shark in this whole movie?
100%, without a doubt. The Rescuers Down Under blows the original Rescuers away.
I think this one is the most equal of the movies we're talking about in a mediocre sense. I don't think either one of these is like amazing. But again, the first one's always better, and I do think the characters are better developed in the first one. Like Madame Medusa's poncho and her mean alligators, Nero and Brutus.
I like them both. Neither of them are my favorite. I like them both, and I think they're just as good as each other. I don't think one is better than the other. I think they are equally good because they both have Zsa Zsa Gabor. No, because they both have Ava Gabor. Be careful, you don't want to mix up your Gabor sisters, because neither of them are with us now, but their spirits will come back and haunt you, and they'll remind you, no, darling, I am not the actress. I am Jaja. I am the woman who is very fancy. I was famous just for being me. And Ava would be like, I was the hard-working one. All I did was go to set all day and work and work and work. And then I went and did a voice in 1977 for a Disney movie. And then they made me come back in 1990. I said, oh, this work. You're making me work so much. So, Ava Gabor, hands down, she's the reason to watch both The Rescuers and The Rescuers Down Under.
Overall, yes, I do think these sequels are better than the originals. And obviously that's a rarity, but I do think they are. These sequels are all really great movies, and when they have their failings, they still sort of built on the legacy of the originals, which is exactly what you want a sequel to do, and exactly what sequels don't ever do. So I do think they're better than the originals.
The difficult thing about calling a sequel better than the original is the fact that the first movie did all the work, right? It had to set up all of the exposition, the backstory, all of the, really difficult storytelling has to happen in the original film so that the sequel can jump right into the fun part.
Favorite out of all of these sequels?
Is that a joke? It's obviously one of the Toy Stories. It's Toy Story 3 and or 4. Final answer, hard stop, not even a competition.
Frozen 2. It was and is my favorite of these sequels. Now, I'm hoping that we do a part 2 to sequels and we talk about some of these 90s sequels, because I feel like we really need to, because the ultimate sequel, my ultimate favorite sequel, even over Frozen, is The Lion King 2. But we can get into that later.
Sometimes in The Sims, you can make your sim play The Sims. So I've definitely played The Sims, or I've made my sim play The Sims. So if I'm a sim, that means that the actual game player is making me a sim play The Sims, and me, the sim, is playing The Sims, making my sim play The Sims. I also have like a pretty boring routine, and then occasionally I go to Disney World.
Hey everybody, it's Molly. Sorry if we made you cry with this new RTT. Please make sure to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell. If you want more RTT right now though, click over here for a playlist of our favorite Disney movie episodes. And if you want more All Ears, click over here for a Disney character challenge throughout the Disney parks. Thanks for watching.